Hi, my name is Amy Sloan. I'm a homeschool mom of five, ages 2 to nearly 12, and I am really thankful to Lynna for inspiring all of us this month at Homeschooling Without Training Wheels, her blog, about math. Because in our family, we really love math. And that doesn't mean that sometimes it doesn't also make us cry. A lot of things that I love, like my children sometimes make me cry, um, but math is fabulous. And reading the things that Lynna has been posting made me excited to share with you all something that is one of my favorite parts of math, the secret of the well-chosen one. Now I need to give credit where it's due, and this all goes back to my mom, who homeschooled me and my brother, and instilled in us a love for math. And it wasn't enough that we just knew the facts, but she always wanted to make sure we really understood why we were doing what we were doing. And well-chosen one is something that she used all through our math to help us understand what we were doing once we learned the trick. So since she wanted us to understand why we were doing what we were doing, I don't know that she realized she might have created a monster, because when I was first told, you're dividing fractions, take the second fraction, invert, multiply, get the answer, I might have pitched a bit of a hissy fit, because you can't just tell me there's a trick and a shortcut. I needed to know why this worked. I was determined that it had to be proven to me before I would use this trick. My mom didn't know, but she could have just told me, well, it's just what the book says, just do it. But instead, she really filled that desire of investigation once again in our homeschool. She called a math guru she knew. This was before Khan Academy and YouTube and the internet. And they talked on the telephone, and my mom figured it all out with the pen and came and shared it with me. And it's been a tremendous help for me, honestly, ever since then. Probably in large part because it really empowered me. One, knowing that my mom cared about my education enough to make that effort to help me understand something. And two, just for me to realize that the tricks and shortcuts we learn in math, there's a reason behind them, and they can be proven. There is a pattern and a logic to math that is actually one of the reasons why I love it so much. So anything good in this video is all from my mom, and if I make any goofy, careless errors, those are on me, not on her. So I wanted to start with just a little bit of background about what is the number 1, because it's just a good review. I know we all know what 1 is. 1 apple, 1 pizza, 1 can of brownies. But I wanted to look at brownies a bit more closely because I love brownies. So you can see here that we have a pan of brownies. The top pan of brownies has been cut into 6 pieces. And you just have to go with me that they're 6 equal. I did measure, but they might not be precise. But 6 out of 6 brownies, if I have 6 friends over, we all have a piece. We've eaten 1 pan of brownies. But if all of my friends have brought their children, I'm going to have to cut it into 18 pieces. We still only have 1 pan of brownies, but now we've eaten 18 pieces. So 18 out of 18, 6 out of 6 is all equal to 1 pan of brownies. The same thing could be said for a pizza. We've all had pizza and we cut it into pieces. In this case, this pizza is an 8. We have eaten 1 whole pizza when we've eaten 8 out of 8 slices. So super basic, we can all understand that. These are all just different names for 1. Whether it was 8 out of 8 for the pizza, 6 out of 6, 18 out of 18, 3 over 3, anything you could throw out there. Those are just different names for 1. It's the same idea. Just like you could call me Amy, Mommy, Daughter, Brownie Lover. That doesn't change who I am. It's still me, they're just different names. And that's important. It's all about choosing the name of one wisely. So with that in mind, let's look at some fractions other than 1. Hopefully everyone can agree with me that any number multiplied by 1 is going to equal itself. It's kind of like magic. It's very soothing. This is why, again, I like math. It's very soothing. 5 times 1, still 5. 4 times 1, still 4. Even 783 times 1, still 783. Any number times 1 stays the same, keeps its same value. But now, what happens if we multiply a fraction times 1? 2/3 times 1 is still 2/3. But what if we change the name of the 1 to 4 out of 4? Remember, we already looked back at 1 and we saw that any fraction where the numerator and the denominator are the same is equal to 1. So 2/3 times 4 over 4 is 8/12. 2/3 and 8/12 are equal. They're different names for the same thing. Okay, let's see if it works again. This time with 7/8. 7/8 times 1 is 7/8. 7/8 times 2 over 2 is 14 over 16. 7/8 is equal to 14 over 16. All we've done by using a different form for 1 is we've changed the name of 7/8, but the actual idea is the same. I promise this does have to do with dividing fractions. That was all laying the groundwork for really getting into some exciting, well-chosen ones. We have to choose those ones carefully. There, I just picked random ones, 4 over 4, 2 over 2. It didn't really matter. But it starts to matter. Look at this. This is some addition of fractions. Again, much more familiar to many of us. Here we have 2/3 plus 1/4. And we need the denominators to be the same. So you can see I picked my well-chosen ones. I can't just pick any one here. I multiply that by 2 over 2. It's not going to get me any closer to the answer. Instead, I picked 4 over 4 as my well-chosen one here. 3 over 3 as my well-chosen one there. Again, we've just renamed the fractions. They're the same value because they've been multiplied by 1 in order to get to the correct answer. So there's our first hint of just the value of a well-chosen one. Now let's finally get to dividing fractions. It was probably a problem like this that I was shown. 2/3 divided by 1/4. And I was told, oh, just invert and multiply. It's 2/3 times 4 over 1. It equals 8/3. Well, that's great. Whoop-de-doo, we got the right answer. Sometimes I could really care less about getting the right answer. Obviously, we do want to eventually find the correct and accurate answer to a math problem. But when my son's working a complicated geometry problem, and I'm following his train of thought, I could really care less if the answer he gets at the end is completely correct. I care a little, but I really want to see that process, that he understands how to do the work, that he understands why, he understands the system of thought. And so I don't really care that I got the right answer with inverting and multiply. My snarky little young kid self told my mom, prove it. So that's what we're going to do now. All right, so we know that any number over itself is 1. I have written a very unwieldy, it's a super weird looking, as I've labeled it, a super weird looking well-chosen 1. This is actually 2 fractions on top of each other. 4 over 1 over 4 over 1. That is 1. So this problem, which is again just a different way to write this division problem, we are not going to change the value. We are just going to change its name because of our well-chosen 1. Here I've put everything together, and you'll notice this was our goal. We wanted to get rid of that fraction in the denominator. We wanted it to become 1, because then we're just left with whatever is on top. And will you look at this? It's magical. When we get rid of it, do you recognize that? Yeah, it's back up at the top. It's the same thing. We just inverted and multiplied. But that's why we did it. It was because of our well-chosen 1. Okay, so it worked that one time. I'm not convinced. I still want to see if it works again. This time, we're going to look at 2/5 divided by 3/6. Again, we're just told, invert and multiply. Just do the trick. Do the shortcut. It doesn't matter why. Don't think. Just do the trick. 2/5 times 6/3. It'll give us our right answer. I don't even have the answer. I don't even care. I want to know the process. We want our kids to think. Okay. So here, I've picked another super weird looking, unwieldy, crazy, well-chosen 1. This time, it's 6/3 over 6/3. And again, remember, our goal is to get to a 1 in the denominator. We want to get rid of that fraction. So that's how we pick the well-chosen 1. That's why it's chosen well. We end up with 1 on the bottom. We end up, again, with that inverting and multiply. It should look very familiar. But knowing the why actually empowers us as students of math. And I would encourage you, moms, parents, to continue to view yourself as a student of math. My mom wasn't a mathematician by trade, the training, but she always told us, you are a mathematician. It wasn't, you're really smart at this. It was always, no, you're a mathematician. It's something I still hear her say now to my own small children when they, find the toys and make sure that everyone gets a block. Oh, you're a mathematician. Look, 4 blocks for 4 children. You shared. Good job. What a mathematician. So if we can teach our children to think of themselves as these math sleuths, you are a mathematician. As a parent, not saying, oh, I was never really a math person, so you probably won't be either. Instead, find your own family's way of approaching the numbers, the patterns. And it may not be that you care deeply like I did, that everything is proven to you. Maybe you do just want to find some super cool shortcuts and tricks. And those can be fun. They really can almost feel like magic sometimes. But whatever it is, to encourage you all with how even now I still feel empowered as I approach challenging math topics. Because my mom took the time to instruct me about the well-chosen 1, to help me know why things work the way they do. And I still get really excited and kind of geek out about it a little bit. Probably more than my kids do, honestly, but I hope that you've enjoyed this little excursion into the realm of well-chosen one. And I would encourage you to look and see where else it crops up in math, because it's not just in dividing fractions. You'll find it hidden if you look closer. So let me know where you might find it in your math. Right, thanks.